This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Parrott, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
This is Jam DeMatteis, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here, the line fades to nothing at all.
This is a world of Capes and Lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Capes and Lunatics. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, on this Freaky Friday, it is the Prince of New Jersey, that time-traveling mustached man. It is
Charlie, the Professor Essa.
And from her secret underground bunker in Florida, Queen of the Armadillos, planning her escape. It is.
Hey y'all, it is Lil Hellfire. Oh yeah,
Hey,
and I
Lilith.
forgot, it's Friday. There you go.
Gotta get down on Friday.
Friday.
Don't sue us, Rebecca Black.
When's she gonna drop another album? That's what I want to know.
Oh,
Well, yeah, it's been a while. She did Saturday. She followed up Friday with Saturday, so maybe we'll get Sunday.
Yeah, I would love to hear her introspective Sunday song. It's Sunday.
I'm sorry,
It's
people.
Sunday.
I'm the blame for that.
Yes,
Time
you
to
are.
go to church because it's Sunday. I don't know. She may be Jewish, or maybe they went to church on Saturday. I don't know.
Oy vey. Anyway, all right. Well, I guess.
Don't want to presume.
Well, the big breaking news, what was that, yesterday? Wonder Woman 1984 finally has a date. Christmas Day. It will be in theaters and on the HBO Max.
Okay. It's great. Now, is it free on HBO Max, or do I have to pay for it on HBO?
No, I'm pretty sure. I think they said there's no extra charge. Yeah, as long as you have HBO Max, I think you just...
So, hey, if you want to go to a theater and risk life and limb,
I know, exactly. So it's
feel
like...
free, or just stay at home and pay.
Contractual obligations, homie.
Yeah. Well, no, I understand. Well, usually the contractual obligation is we're not going to release it on streaming until we release it in theaters. So yeah, I mean, honestly, we know AT&T has already said fare thee well to comic book producers. This is them saying fare thee well to theaters. You know, it's like, you know what, all you brick and mortars, we don't see your purpose anymore. Don't let the door get you where the good Lord split you.
Are a lot of these big businesses now just using COVID as an excuse to be like cut off?
Oh hell yeah, they've been chomping at the bit to do this for the longest.
Safety, like the safety of our money.
Well, no, I mean, for what it's worth, safety. That's the thing. It's like, okay, so I mean, there's lots of reasons for doing this, but the people that are getting mad that people are worried about safety, I think that they have their own agendas themselves, So it's like, no, they don't want to release this in a cesspool. No one wants you to go, it's like, yeah, no, it's like, look, okay.
They're writing this off. Look, like I told you guys, they were damned if they did, they were damned if they didn't. So they're writing it off, and it is what it is. They're not charging people extra money a la Mulan's model, so that's good for us as consumers, and bad for everybody else. Poor Joe and Patty Jenkins.
Do you think the extra surcharge that they're not charging? Do you think maybe Warner's was afraid that if they did charge,
it's so people can actually want to subscribe? It's like, okay, so I subscribed, and then you're going to charge me another $30.
It brings people to HBO Max, and then do you think they were afraid the movie was going to tank if they charged an extra $30?
Oh hell yeah! Nobody I know would have. It wouldn't have been.
Well, that's the problem, because that's the thing is if you're a fan of a certain group, we're in the divided States of America.
I want to know who paid the $30 for Mulan. I know a lot of people, okay, in real life. I don't know a single person who paid the $30 for Mulan. So.
I mean, I'm sure people did. If they didn't, I would assume that there are groups of people that don't want to pay for a streaming service.
I mean, I got Disney fans in the house. Neither one of them was like, yeah, no, it's okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, Mulan is such a weird thing to do. Honestly, what I would say is probably Chinese expats that had an attachment to the Mulan.
But they had so many better live action versions of Mulan to choose from than Disney this year. I'm just saying.
But, they wanted the Disney one because that was the one that cost money, and that's a status symbol, if nothing else.
And I mean, just the whole, not even just Mulan, but just like all these things that started off as animated and became live action. Is that just like the wrong thing to be charging that much for? Just because it's like, oh, I've kind of already seen this movie.
Well, I mean, I think it depends. See, I mean, that's the thing, because I'm of the demographic that isn't in that demographic.
Yeah.
And wasn't in the demographic when it was released.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't have huge... I mean, my nostalgia for Aladdin is probably from the Aladdin TV series. And not necessarily from the movie, which I did see. It was okay,
Spoken like a true not 90s kid.
Well, I was an adult in the 90s, man. So
exactly, not a kid, not a 90s
kid. I was a 90s adult. We were the ones. I was Gen X, man. We were just mad at the Berlin Wall fall. So we all find out that all of this whole political gamesmanship was all a joke, man.
Hey,
rusted painted bolts.
Lilith, Charlie Esser and his friends did not start the fire.
I think they did. You know what? It wasn't the Gen Xers. It was the baby boomers. We can blame it on the boomers.
No, it's always been burning since the world's been turning.
Yeah. Arguably, yeah. I mean, really, the world has always been on fire, but that's okay. Really, since the asteroid knocked out the dinosaurs, and the mammals got their foothold.
Yeah,
it's all
mammals.
I don't know.
You're not gonna play the drop?
What? Oh.
Mammal. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Sorry.
I want a mammal. Okay. You guys
What's
know
the
these
point of having 1,000 bajillion drops if we're not going to use it? But no, I am sad to say that I'm sorry this happened to Wonder Woman, but the writing's been on the wall for a while.
So
we're not getting a Wonder Woman 3. This is it. This is closing out the DCEU, guys. Celebrate or cry, whatever you want to do.
We still got Snyderverse. We still got Snyder cut. Snyder.
That doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Well, hey,
it's a pure cash grab, and nothing's gonna come of it.
So do you mean
a 12-hour miniseries? Hoorah!
So you're saying no Flash movie?
I honest to God, really hope not.
I know, me neither. I hate. I don't like Ezra Miller's Flash.
I don't think Flash needs to. Well, I guess if the TV show, like I predict, will end at season 8.
I thought you said
they can still do a Flash movie.
I thought you said it was going to get one more season. This season coming up.
Yeah, this is season 7.
Yeah, okay.
When it starts, and then I said next season would be his last.
Yeah,
like
okay.
Arrow.
Okay, then I agree with you. Yeah.
But I definitely think Legends. Black Lightning is gone. Legends is on
that was
the
the other.
out.
That was the other big thing we got today. Yes, Black Lightning is ending with this upcoming season 4. So.
And they want to do a backdoor pilot spinoff. Get out of here.
That's not happening. You'd think
get out of here. I mean, yeah, come on.
I mean, okay, I know you guys are saying Legends will end, and I guess my only thing with Legends is it was supposed to end 6 years ago.
Well,
but then they got Matt Ryan, and it did get a surge in popularity and things like that. But now it's outstayed its welcome with the Matt Ryan thing. It's totally screwed Constantine.
Supergirl's ending, Black Lightning's ending. I mean, Legends.
They want to make room for... I hear rumblings that they do want to save Swamp Thing, and they definitely want to do it on a budget. They're trying to be more adult now, and they definitely need the budget for Stargirl. And honestly, personally, I feel like DC TV should be on HBO Max or HBO anyway.
Here's all I'm going to say. Legends of Tomorrow is the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. of DC. It has been canceled since episode 1. Oh. No matter what you do, it's unkillable.
That's not true at all.
I don't know.
It's time.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ran way longer than...
we don't have movies and things to make people want to... It is the least watched and no reason to watch now that Arrow's gone. And all these other connective tissues are gone. There's no reason to watch.
Legends got 5 seasons? I mean,
yeah, it's past its prime.
That's way past what I thought it was going to get. So, I mean, that's a healthy run for that show.
I know, no, which is actually kind of my point. It's like it's lasted this long. Why do you think it's going to end?
I feel like my point is, I feel like they're putting the clothes on the Arrowverse DC TV on CW for the most part.
Yeah, and I guess what my view is, if they do, Legends will be the last thing standing.
No,
Legends will be the last.
Flash, it's the
highest
rated, and it has the most merchandise.
Flash has the most ratings, always has.
Well, and I get the idea. I get what you're saying, but I'm also thinking, but Flash has a story to tie up. Legends can just fill out the time slot.
They're not going to let it go like Supernatural. They've learned their lesson, and like I said, Legends doesn't have a fan base, so
I don't see Legends going on by itself. No.
Well,
we were in it for the crossovers and Bebo, and none of those things are happening now. So,
if they do revive Swamp Thing, put Matt Ryan over there.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I'm definitely thinking they need to clean up the budget and be more focused and like mature things, because
do it on HBO.
They're not getting a new audience. They have to grow with the audience that they have.
If they do that, they got to do it on HBO Max. They have to.
I think there's a way to do it on CW at 9:00. I mean, I'm just gonna say some episodes of Supernatural have been pretty eyebrow raising.
Yeah, but you can really go more adult if you put on HBO.
Yeah, but they tried that on the DCU and it didn't work. So my point is, if they retooled a little bit, you give it Swamp Thing, give it some shipping, and the thing has got legs on CW for 5 seasons easy.
I mean, it's not like I'm a fan of any of these shows except for Legends, so it's not like I'm really in a place to say.
When's the last time you even watched Legends, Charlie?
I watched it on
season
the CW.
3?
No, I watched this last season. I enjoyed it. There was the whole.
I like the Fox people.
I watched the show. That's all I'm saying. I did watch it. I'm aware of it, and
unlike a lot of people, I mean, it's pulling it up.
Well, exactly. That's with
the boost from Flash. I'm just saying. Wrap it up.
My point is, if there's nothing else, it is a catch-all.
They have other things, Charlie. Maybe not things you want to see.
Maybe they don't. Is I guess maybe my point on this is like, you know what? Maybe as they're running things, here's what I'm going to say: you want a block, unless it's going to be the Flash Stargirl block, which aren't in the same universe, which is going to annoy people.
That's not true. It is actually technically.
It's multiverse.
It's technically in the same universe. Well, it's in the same.
And they're actually working on a crossover, so might want to bite your tongue on that one. Yeah.
Okay. They should have just waited till Crisis, just so they could have put them both on the same Earth. They should have just waited.
Well, that's the thing. Well, DC doesn't like to build things. They want.
The Arrowverse was pretty well built, but the whole thing with Supergirl being on CBS originally, when they knew they should have put it on CW.
But I mean, Crisis brought her Earth and Black Lightning. If they just.
But had it not been on the CBS first, it totally would have been, and that's why.
But here's the thing: you can't act like they couldn't have suddenly said, "Well, no, we've always been on the same Earth with Supergirl." It's not like
too far into the Arrowverse for that to happen.
It's like, well, why don't we ever mention these super strong Kryptonian aliens?
Well, because that's all tabloid reporting by that rag, the Daily Planet. That's all stuff that happens in Metropolis.
Great Caesar's ghost. How dare
you? You can't believe what's coming out of Metropolis. That is fake news. Everyone knows it.
Okay, lad.
I'm just saying.
People on both sides.
I'm ready for the CW to switch it up and grow up at this point. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they've had a lot of critical darlings. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Jane the Virgin, things like that. I just want to see them grow and move forward. And I just feel like DC TV for them, it made its point. It made them their money. Now they can move on and do other things.
All right, so you're saying, yes, Stargirl did good. Flash, we both say is going to get
Grant's ready to go. He wants to spend more time with his wife, and he's got a lot of other people tagging him for other kind of projects. Just saying.
Season 7, season 8 will be the Flash. You think Batwoman's not getting past season 2?
Oh hell no! I don't even know why they recast. They should have just. I mean, as much as I love the idea, they should have went with my idea.
They have contractual obligations and time slots to fill.
That's fine, but it's like
CBS has about 5 different shows they would love to put in that time slot. I'm just saying.
It's just so weird that they went with a completely different character
and not the actual black bat. Yes.
Season 1, we actually had actual face swapping. How interesting would that have been if Kate Kane would have got a new face?
Something.
Yeah. And now
I'm willing to give it a chance, but I'm just telling you, it's not getting a season 3.
It's just weird that all of a sudden you're just going to drop a new main character in there who has no connection to any of the other.
I would say bring back Julia Pennyworth, but it wasn't the black one, so I don't care.
Oh hell.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's just people who don't care about comics at the head of the shows, which is always DC's problem.
Oh, the big question.
It's not really true. It's just that they always want to do something else with that character, and it's just like, I think you guys watched Smallville and thought that was canon.
Oh,
I mean, the blonde girl. Come on, they even had the same trench coat with the holes. I'm just saying, Felicity is Chloe, but Chloe is better.
Oh my
God! Fight me.
Oh my God! I heard your blood pressure rising the other night, Lil. Danielle came home. She said some girl at work was telling her how much she loved Felicity.
Well, I mean, to each their own. I'm sure she has a Tumblr dedicated to Felicity, and that's fine. I like the character in the first 2 seasons, but not at the detriment of freaking Black Canary. You guys have heard the Arrow podcast. You guys know how to do it. Let's move on before my blood boils even more.
Oh no! The last thing I wanted to ask you is how far do you think Superman and Lois is going to get?
Bro, it's not going to make it to season 3. Mark my words. Nobody's interested. Nobody asked for this.
Well,
they should have, if they would have given it to Brandon Roth, however, and given it to his wife and like an alternate universe Lois Lane, that might have could have worked. But this one, no, nobody asked for this.
Bye, Felicia.
Just saying. Tyler Hoechlin, I love him to death. Teen Wolf diehard all day, every day. Not a good Superman. Doesn't embody him in real life or on TV. Y'all can be mad.
Don't know. Don't watch the show.
All right, we'll move on for Lil has a heart attack. But I want
to talk about something because I don't know if y'all know because I never get to talk about this. Sports. Tampa has the Raptors. I'm excited.
Wait. The Toronto Raptors are moving to Tampa Bay
for the season because Canada doesn't want them doing the back and forth and all the travel with the COVID.
Okay. So they don't have the Raptors.
We have the Raptors for a season, but we just the guy that owns the Lightning might buy the Raptors.
Okay.
I'm just saying it.
The Toronto Raptors, thank you. Okay, they still have Canadian health care. If anything bad happens, they can go home and be safe.
But the gag is nobody's Canadian on that team, so.
They got the health care. That's what I'm saying.
Is that how it works? I don't think that's how that works.
Actually, it is because your taxes are paid within the province in which you reside. You reside in the province where you work. And so basically they can return to Ontario, have sweet Ontario medicine if anything bad happens. So they're safe, even though they're having to play in a cesspool like Florida. So they
wanted it, so it's not like okay.
Well, I'm sure I'm sure it's nice.
It's a lot better weather. Just saying.
Yeah, no.
And there's fans that'll actually care about them, so they'll have a good time down here.
I'm not saying Florida is not a wonderful place to live if you...
Hey, we've kept our Buccaneers safe, unlike a lot of other NFL teams. So, you can just go suck on that one, too.
Oh!
Saying, maybe not the baseball team, but we kept our football team safe because we got Brady down here. I'm just saying. We can do things when we put our minds to it.
And to be fair, I'm probably being too harsh on Florida because, it's Florida. But,
when it comes to Florida sports, you will not badmouth Florida sports unless it's the freaking
I'm
Heat.
just saying it's not a Florida sport. It's the Toronto Raptors. That's all I'm saying.
They're the World Series champions right now. What do you mean? Yeah,
I know. They're a great team. But they're the Toronto team. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying it can happen. They might get comfortable. They might like it.
Basketball.
And the guy at the Lightning is eyeing to buy a new team. Mark my words, he's going to put an offer in.
Yeah.
You and your silly basketball. The Pittsburgh Steelers are undefeated this season. Woo!
Shut up, Phil.
Go Steelers. Hey, I like the Steelers. You know what I like best?
Black and yellow.
Is actually the Steelers logo is the United Steelworkers logo. So it's actually this weird little thing where like that actually is a union logo on their helmets. So I've always appreciated that, and that's
I mean, the NFL union is like the best union in sports, so
it is, you know.
It kind of makes sense when you think about it.
Well, yeah. Well, the NFL is basically a communist structure.
And I don't know how baseball got to be America's team sport, to be honest. Let's not even go there. It's lies, I tell you.
Baseball is so slow.
Well, you know, baseball's our cricket, and it's like everyone in the world looks at why does anyone like cricket? But everyone who likes cricket, no, cricket, it's the greatest game ever. It's like, really?
If you're a numbers nerd, baseball is for you.
Well, yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's like bowling. It's like you can have a hot dog. It's fine.
Hey, man, I don't know about that. I got King of the Numbers nerds in there, and he loves football, not baseball.
No, football's actually football's even better for numbers.
Oh yeah.
Football is all kinds of weather conditions, especially even in the sense that you can play indoor or outdoor. Because that's the thing, football you don't call.
Look, your town ain't nothing if you ain't got a dome on your arena. There, I said it. I said it. Y'all can have me.
World Hellfire.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Mark my words, this December, we're getting open-air hockey games.
What?
Because, you know, you can't have that closed-in COVID stuff, but you know what? Open-air gatherings, those are okay. Can we find an open-air hockey arena somewhere in Canada where it is cold enough to freeze and we can have people...
You mean everywhere in Canada ever?
That's what I'm saying. You know that COVID bubble you had down there for the NBA in Florida? We can do that up in Canada for NHL.
The only team I care about are the Lightning because they're winners. Much like I was only a Red Wings fan when they were winners. There, I said it. Now I don't care about the Red Wings.
We don't even care about sports then.
Oh,
I care about sports. I just don't care about hockey.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Like I said, the Lightning are my team because they're here and they were winners. So that's all that I care about for hockey.
And just to give you my perspective, there are so many teams that say they are New York teams, but that actually
they're in Jersey. I know.
So it's like I'm like, you know, I don't count them as New Jersey teams, like because they don't call themselves. Well, actually, I will say, don't say you're a New York team. You're a New Jersey team, and I hate you because you say you're a New York team. The
poor Nets got stolen right from underneath you.
Although that has been explained to me that the Nets originally were a New York team. They were the Long Island.
I mean, the Lakers were from Minnesota, you know?
Why do I feel like I'm on AM radio all of a sudden?
Sorry, Philip. What else is on your agenda? I can talk sports all day. I am so happy to actually have an actual basketball team in my town.
Do you forget who our core audience is?
Nerds! Nerds love sports.
Oh, wait,
it's the biggest, nerdiest thing ever.
Oh wait, I should say, do you remember who our demo is?
I think units.
Oh, okay. That's a comic.
One thing I do want to say is one thing that's very fascinating to me about the Raptors is the Raptor used to be a Falcon. Because they weren't originally even the Toronto Raptors. They were some other Raptors. And then when they moved to Toronto, they made the Raptor Velociraptors. Because dinosaurs were big at the time.
Because dinosaurs are cool. I know Ross is into them from Friends, but dinosaurs are cool and will always be cool. So
yes, they are.
Oh, I can bring it back to nerdiness. Have you guys been on Netflix to see Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous? It's that animated show. I think it's actually pretty good. Luca might like it. Your boys actually might like it too, Charlie.
I will have to check that out. I mean, we actually watched Animaniacs. I thought you were going to go to Animaniacs because that starts with a Jurassic Park intro.
Oh yeah, I'm so happy to have it back. It's almost like it wasn't gone. Like the animation is still on point. I enjoyed it.
Honestly, it's brilliant in everything they do. Even their first song about, we don't know what's going to happen. So they even made this point, wait, are we sure Trump's even president? It's like, look, they're writing this in 2016. We don't know, but we're going to guess and assume. It's like, okay, so let's just make up stuff. And then they go to we all live in aluminum tents on Mars.
I can't wait for Tiny Toons though. Since Animaniacs is so well done, I was kind of hesitant about Tiny Toons because I kind of don't like the new Looney Tunes thing, with the exception of the Lola Bunny. That's the best thing about the new Looney Tunes.
I'm going to be honest with you. I worry about the Tiny Toons because it so seems like it was a reaction to Animaniacs.
I don't know. I feel like they threw Animaniacs out first to test the waters, but their heart was in it.
Like I said, and we've talked about this over on Super Connectivity a lot. Well, not a lot, but like at least one episode. And it is this idea of the battle between AT&T and Disney, and they found like one of those little countries that people always fight and die over because it's strategically important, and that is the Spielberg.
Did you mean Afghanistan?
Well, I mean, that's actually not strategically important, which is why it's always sort of ridiculous that everyone dies there. But, but if you ever played Rescue, there was that one country that everyone's like, oh, we have to just send millions and millions of men to die in that land. And, you can never take it. Which actually, Ethiopia, that's the one I'm thinking of. You won't try to conquer Ethiopia, you will die horribly. That was actually the real basis of Wakanda. So, yeah, no, really, Ethiopia never got conquered by Europeans. It's like briefly the Italians were able to stand next to Ethiopia for a while during World War II. That's as close as it ever got.
Oh, but speaking of that colonizer, we just heard tonight, I guess they're going to be working on Black Panther 2 here.
Yes.
Interesting to see. Nervous, but interesting.
It looks like we may be getting a Shuri Black Panther. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the elephant in the room regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It becomes this question, do you recast or do you build from where you are? And first off, they may still recast because they may feel they need to.
Just have them never take the suit off.
Well, or however they do it. Well, they do that in the comics all the time. But they may have to recast, and an entirely CGI with someone doing Chadwick.
He's had enough movies over a very, very span of time. They could do what Will Smith did.
Well, they can't resurrect him because that'd
be a bad taste. But Fast and the Furious is doing it. Just throwing that out there.
I know, but you know what? Here's what I'll say: someone always gets mad when you resurrect dead people. I mean, that's sort of like, it's like annoying to me that Majel Barrett isn't still the voice of the computer on Star Trek, because she intentionally recorded her voice doing all kinds of things so that they could use her voice to be the voice of the computer forever. And people are like, no, never mind. Who cares about fan service? Why should the computers all talk like Majel Barrett? It's like, because that's what the computer sounds like.
I'm trying to remember, like, the newer ones, like Picard and that. I don't know if the computers even talk, do they?
Well, probably not, because,
it's all like...
Budget. It's on CBS All Access, budget.
Well, no, it's all
I mean, it doesn't cost any money to make the computer talk.
Yeah, no,
it's no one cares about the history and the legacy.
Budget.
It's like the poor, original emergency medical hologram, and they replace him with Julian Bashir because he's handsome.
I was going to say, you can't blame him in that instance. I'll let that one slide.
I love Picardo as the Doctor. The Doctor is the best Doctor.
I agree, but
I would rather have him than
Bone.
I'm going to say that right now.
Yeah, it's a good time. I'm glad that we got some new stuff, especially animated stuff, because I'm just so over live action stuff. Like, I just don't have the energy anymore to invest. Supernatural's done. 15 years. I don't have to think about it till the revival in 20 years with their kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that finale happened. Nobody else cares. It's fine. Tyler, shout out to Tyler.
Yeah.
I thought it was a decent ending. It was bittersweet. The epilogue was
good for you.
It was good. It wrapped things up in as much as you could for 15 years and having a chance where you had 5 different finales.
Did they defeat the Antichrist or some similar major baddie at the end?
We've done that 6 times already, Charlie. That's
I understand that, but they did that on Buffy too.
Yeah.
Like, now we have defeated the Hellmouth.
It's just Hillbilly Dragon Ball. You just we beat God. What's next?
Although I liked at the end of Buffy where they said, well, actually there are like 4 other Hellmouths.
Hellmouths, which absolutely we've traveled multiverses and things like that is Supernatural. It was time. The boys did their job. One little tear, that's all I shed. And we're moving on. And I can't wait for Walker, Texas Ranger reboot with Jared Padalecki. Hopefully they give me my shirtless scenes that I've been craving, because that's what's going to get the girlies to come to the show. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Okay.
Remember, Arrow the quality significantly dropped the moment Stephen Amell stopped doing the Emil ab flash. I'm just throwing it out there. Something to think about.
It's not everyone likes to be objectified, Lilith.
Yeah, Lilith.
Well, you're an actor, so you're gonna have to deal with it. You gotta do what you gotta do for your paycheck.
Take it off.
It's the CW. What were you expecting?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's like,
it's the CW. You knew what you signed up for.
You know what? I think you should have a bit of an exhibitionist side to you, and an overly sense of your own sexuality. You should be like William Shatner. I bet you could get Shatner to do a shirtless scene right now if you asked him.
If we can travel back in time, young Shatner absolutely can get it all day, every day. Old Shatner.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that William Shatner. If you said we're shooting this scene that you are a sexual dynamo, take off your shirt and you walk in the room and the woman just swoons over you, Shatner would be saying, yeah, that sounds completely believable, and Shatner would do that because I believe that in his heart he is this exhibitionist like myself who feels he is beautiful like myself and would absolutely do that scene. I think the problem with the Stephen Amell types is they start getting in their own head. It's like, maybe I'm not beautiful.
No, he just wanted to eat a cookie, and I get it, but you know what you signed up for. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying you
don't see Chris Evans bitching about not having a cookie. That's all that I'm saying.
I'm just saying you can have the cookie.
Well, he was unhung. So
who was unhung?
Stephen Amell. He spent the season unhung. Yeah, absolutely. Didn't know that?
I thought it was an older guy unhung.
Was that?
No, he was the protege to the older guy.
Yeah, wasn't it Thomas James?
Yeah. I think it was like one of the second to last. I think it was the second to last season that he was in.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who the actual lead actor in Hung
Thomas
was.
Jane.
Yeah, Thomas Jane. Punisher.
Thomas Jane. Okay, yeah. Like, I know actors. Come on.
This is my name.
You should know Punisher. That's Marvel, albeit not good Marvel.
Well, first off, again. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The Punisher's name is Dolph Lundgren.
Oh!
Wow, blow the dust off that VHS.
I'm not a child of the 90s. I'm an adult of the 90s, Lilith. I've said that, okay?
Punish him.
Anyway, but...
Absolute mess tonight, Philip. Come on, pull it together. Crack this whip.
I'm not the one cracking cans 15 seconds in, Lil Hellfire.
It's what's expected. It's Friday night.
Okay. Yeah, and Philip, you don't know. That could be a can of soda pop.
That could be root beer.
It could be the rooted beer, just like the Ferengis warned.
Throw out the root and give me the beer. Matter of fact, throw out the beer and give me the vodka.
Yeah, it could be soda, just like it could be love and
vodka and soda.
Part 2.
I'm just whatever it is. My point is that that's a shtick she's done several times in the show. It is a callback that the fans are looking for. Don't criticize it.
I know, man.
That's what Phil does, though. That's him. That's his character. Remember, Charlie?
I know.
How do you remember?
There are people.
We're breaking the fourth wall here, people. This isn't the Wade's World podcast.
I
said this isn't the Wade's World podcast.
Once again, penultimate.
Oh, thank you, Lila. Thank you.
Yes, there you go. There we go. You got to do that. So yeah, but anyway, but that's okay. Let's get it back into some. Philip, what would you like to talk about?
Do it. They want to have anything else, or should we get the comics?
No, we don't.
I have another show to do, so I can talk about anything you want. But yeah, we can talk comics. I should talk about those on my other show too. So it's up to you, Philip.
I have a lot of shows.
I have many shows.
I know. I was listening to Full Stream Ahead today.
Yes, I like that show.
We all love that show.
It's Mandalorian next. Yay!
Tell Maz when we do Office Space, he must join us.
Okay, I will do my best.
Twisted
No, you
Arm.
guys can all talk to Moz too, you know.
I said I did talk to him.
You're his
pretty much.
representative as far as we're concerned.
Hey, I did talk to him a couple days before the Austin Powers, and he said he wasn't sure if he could make it. He would let me know, and that was the last I heard from him.
He has a very busy schedule, you know. There's
Yes,
a
he
reason my shows are always late for you, Philip, you know.
Oh, you guys have been on time with the boys. I mean, you're ahead on the boys.
Yeah, I know. And now I'm letting him go a week before we get into Mandalorian because I know we have the space, you know. I'm that kind of freak. But some people get very mad when we, you know, don't get their shows
You
in
can't
on
keep
time.
your fans waiting, Charlie.
Are you the one who has to sacrifice the animals to Rob Southgate? I don't think so.
Well, you can blame Rob Southgate. We had to do the enough said, so you know.
So says Master Doom.
He did say that.
I know. I was willing to put everything here, and he's like, "Oh no, let's put that on enough said." Also,
Lord knows that needs content.
oh,
I want to do it, but Marvel's not giving me anything. I was hoping we'd do the Hellion, but you know, Hellion, it's not as engaging as I would have liked to it.
Hellstrom?
To have been. Hellstrom, yeah, that's the one.
I was like, wait, they made Hellion? I might watch that if they made Hellion.
No, I just have Hellions in my head, and no. Mutant X, that's a weird show.
Wannabe X-Men, yes, from the early 2000s.
Yes, I know. I remember you were
syndicated TV. Remember that, guys?
Yeah, I watch it now because it's on like Decades at like 2 in the morning. No, not MeTV. I lost MeTV, although I now have it back through Lowcast. But Decades has it like at 5 in the morning on Saturday or Sunday morning. You get Mutant X.
Lowcast.
Does it come on like after like Earth Final Conflict or something? Does it have like the whole like lineup?
No, it's weird. Decades can get a little weird in their things. I will say I love Armis Bliss. That is the best show from the 1950s. It is just crass and crude, as crass and crude as you could be. You had to feel this was like the Bob's Burgers of its day. It's like, ooh my, what will they say next? Sorry, this
Bob's Burgers is really the Hank Hill of today.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, okay.
Speaking of very old TV, I learned a new Batman 66 fact today.
Oh, what's the new Batman 66
from Kevin Smith? I'm sure you'll be like, oh, I knew that, but no, I guess after they put King Tut on the TV show, they had the rights, so the comics going to do King Tut. So that's when they invented Maxie Zeus.
Oh,
for the comics.
I did not know that.
no,
I thought King Tut was in the comics.
What?
I always thought King Tut was in the comics.
Oh, not until way later. Yeah.
Oh, way later? Oh, okay. He was very popular, I guess.
Well, I guess the TV show had the rights until everybody shook hands and made nice. Yeah, they couldn't use King Tut in the comics.
Isn't that ironic?
Just shows you how it's more set.
You beat me there.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh, did anyone read any comics this week?
No,
I read. Actually, it was a very light week for me.
Phil's Comic Corner.
I got 2 indies. You want to hear about my indies?
Yeah, sure.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. So, man, and this was a little bit. This one. Okay, I'm going to start with this one because this was the one I literally picked up because of one word on the cover.
Sniffer?
No, below.
Torture tentacles.
Torture tentacles, which is not related to the story. It's actually just describing what's on the cover I'm reading.
Oh. Bait and switch. Bait and switch.
But here, look, dudes, that's a torture tentacle for you right there. Edgar Allan Poe.
You said, hey, no kink shaming.
I don't think those are
I'm just saying it is on Edgar Allan Poe's Snifter of Blood by Ahoy Comics. This is issue 2.
Yeah, Ahoy Comics, great. This is a great introduction for you. I love them.
It's an anthology book. It has 2 stories. It has a bunch of text stories, which all look great, but because I drink while I read, it's not always the easiest thing to do to read a text-based story. There's 2 stories in the back. This is number 2.
I was going to say, is that an ongoing or a mini series or?
They put it out whenever they feel like it. It's Ahoy.
Okay.
Yes, but anyway, the fourth story, and this is I didn't even realize what the story was when I bought it. I'm like, well, I guess I have enough money to buy one more indie comics. This has the word tentacles on the cover. I guess I'll buy it. To Hell Comes a Guest. This is just the most sweet spot of my brain kind of story you're going to have, because essentially it tells the tale of the Marquis Cacao and his breakfast ritual with various other nearby nobles, including Antonio the Tiger, for whom they serve the breakfast flakes, who says they're glorious. He's the tiger. Basically, it's all a bunch of cereal mascots, but they're also kind of like the grim and gritty realizations of them. They have the king of the leprechauns here, who the Marquis de Cacao invites into his home in Czechoslovakia. There is the General Post, who is conquering all the lands and committing genocide with his brute. There, if you can see that. Honestly, it is so absurdistly delightful, yet still tells a compelling story. When the Marquis's wife leaves him, because she was the daughter of the General Post, that she vows to defeat him, she leaves with the king of the leprechauns to go to the fortress, and then in the end he decides that you cannot be a coward and live, and you must go after them. It is just a brilliant story. It is a brilliant story all around. Our second story is a tippler of a Mortadello, which is, and honestly, I have to brush up on my Poe because there's things that are like, wait, was that the story? Was that the story? And it's Poe and Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry Wadsworth Longfellow and Margaret Fuller and Francis Osgood all sitting around a table discussing Poe's new story, the Cask of Fortunato, and it's basically telling the tale and the jingles. And honestly, and basically by the end, the other writers are telling Poe how to end it, and he's like, "No, that's not the ending I wrote." It's brilliant. It's beautifully illustrated as a black and white horror comic. It's just, honestly, I gotta say, this is one of my favorite books this week. Ahoy Comics, Edgar Allan Poe's Snifter of Blood. Pick it up if you can. Just a great. If you like horror anthology, this will be fun. If you like weird kind of self-referential stuff, it's great. If you can deal with comedy sewn into your horror, which kind of ties into my next book, which is Doctor Who, which is always comedy sewn into your horror, it's a great book. So yes, Edgar Allan Poe's Snifter of Blood 2 by Ahoy Comics. Pick it up. You won't be dissatisfied. It is a $5 book, but it's an extra buck. And there's a lot more story in that than in most of the books I read.
All right, Lilith, what do you got?
Like I said, it was a light week for me. I'd say I'd recommend Once in Future number 13. It's got Beowulf. Main reason why I picked it up. So.
You fancy people. What is it? Once in the Future?
Once in Future. Like, King Arthur, Once in Future King.
Oh,
number
okay.
13.
Who's that by, Lilith?
Oh, it's Boom Studios. The writer's Kieran Gillen, and the artist is Dan Mora. The art is absolutely stunning. Very high fantasy, artwork. I like it a lot. The artwork is what really sells it for me.
I do like Kieran Gillian. I've actually been looking at that, and I've been interested in that a lot. I just,
the lore is so fantastic, and the artwork just really pulls the story. They're just very in unison with each other, so I think you might like it.
I think I would. It's like if I ever had enough money to buy every comic book I saw, and then time to read every comic book I saw.
Wait for the trade.
That would definitely. Well, yeah. I
think the first trade is on its way, actually. So.
I may pick that up if I have money to buy a trade with. You don't know the problem with comic books and buying in trades is that they actually still have more comic books coming out when the trade comes out. So I have to say, okay, so I can buy that.
Sometimes I wait for a light week. Like this week was really light for me. None of my indies were really out that I enjoy. I only had Spider-Man, I think, in Juggernaut #3 from Marvel, and then. I had Sea of Sorrows for IDW.
Did you pick up Aquaman this week?
No, it's DC. I'm done. I told you that.
You missed the marriage?
Yeah. One thing I do want to say
I'm not invested.
When I have a light week, that's when I actually buy new books. It's like, okay, so what is a new book out that I can buy? What's a new indie or a new thing?
There really wasn't anything, like I said, so I was just like... Yeah.
Well, you didn't get Snifter of Blood, Lilith.
Actually, I do have it, just... I had it early.
ARG. Oh, you had...
No, not ARG.
No, I know. They send them to you.
No, that's fine.
I never do that to indies.
I know. They
okay, so great. Yeah, okay. See, for those of us not as lucky as Lilith to be a celebrity in the industry.
It's not a celebrity. It's just knowing your comic book guy really, really, really good. He actually likes a lot of the indie books and stuff. Like that's kind of like his specialty at the store that's near my house. His big store in Tampa proper is actually more like, commercial for the passerby, casual tourist kind of people. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm liking this Ahoy, and I saw like 2 Ahoys. Like
Ahoy, Black Mask, Vault are like 3 of the up and coming indie like providers that I would definitely keep my eye on. They have a lot of interesting stuff coming out in 2021.
Yeah, so they got me with tentacles. Those tentacles pulled me in.
Yeah, Lilith. Well, Lilith, you can get back on the Nightwing train.
In 5 years, bro, I told you I'm taking a 5-year break. I'm taking a 5-year break. I only talked about Punchline because I already had all the Punchline and 3 Joker stuff. Like I'd already read it.
This was basically setting him back up at status quo. KGB.
Is that Starfire?
No, that was his girlfriend B, who he was with while he was Rick. Who the KG Beast comes back. The one who originally shot him in the head comes back to finish the job. Hold B at gunpoint.
Does she die instead?
No, they break up at the end.
Okay.
So, but I mean, most of this is just him dancing around, beating on the KG Beast, the guy who originally shot him in the head. But yeah, like I said,
KG Beast story.
So I know he beats up KG Beast. He breaks up with her, so yeah, he's basically back to status quo. But I knew this was coming because when we talked to Dan Jurgens on Nightwing News, consummate professional Dan Jurgens is, because they start out with the flashback to Batman 55 when Dick got shot in the head. Remember, Dick was in the middle of a joke. Oh, she's gone.
No, keep on telling it.
Yeah, no. Dick Grayson was in the middle of a joke when he got shot in the head. So Dan, it was in a Batman issue written by Tom King. So Dan Jurgens, who wrote this, I don't know if he called or emailed Tom King and was like, "Hey, what was the punchline to that joke he never finished? Because I want to put it in this issue."
And what was the punchline?
Well, here, I got to give you the setup to the joke, or it won't make sense. Dick was, when he got shot in the head, he was saying, "That's the problem with Napkin Man. He just doesn't." Then he gets shot in the head. So the whole line was, let me get this right. Yeah. That's the problem with Napkin Man. He doesn't follow the normal Bat villain protocol. He just wipes away all the clues. I didn't say it was a good joke, but
that actually seems like exactly what a Napkin Man would do.
It's like a
according to Bat villain protocol. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's I think that's, I think Napkin Man would be, it's like, no, of course I'm going to wipe away the clues. I'm Napkin Man. That's my thing.
I didn't even think the joke was that great, but I just applaud the efforts of Dan Jurgens, who just went and, called the guy who, started it and was like, "Hey, what was that punchline going to be?"
I mean, fair enough. I mean, he's going to follow through with that. Although I think it might be fun if he tried to figure out what his own
That's
answer
true.
was going to be. But then again, that might be more work than it's worth, because it's like, why is a raven like a writing desk? And it's like, oh, now I got to figure out why a raven is like a writing desk, and then I have to deal with the fact that when I say, oh, it's because they have feathers and ink or something, or I do something like that. And then everyone else is going, that's not what he said. He told me that it was this, 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 this. So, yeah. So, actually, probably that was the safe bet and the right bet. So, although he runs a risk there, because obviously when you call someone and says, yeah, you did a setup for a joke, did you have a punchline? It's very likely they're going to say, no, I had no punchline whatsoever, because I knew I was going to shoot him in the head. I wanted it to be a joke that never gets finished. So, yeah. I mean, don't finish the joke, please, because I have no idea what it should have been.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this issue basically sets them back to status quo. But I keep saying I want to see an issue where Dick Grayson goes into therapy, because I mean, this isn't the first time he's been shot in the head, and two, this isn't
the first time he's been shot in the head.
No, when he was Batman, Dr. Hertz shoots him in the back of the head. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
You're not supposed to be able to take multiple shots to the head.
He's been shot in the head at least twice. He's been raped. I'm telling you, the dude needs therapy.
I think the dude is a medical miracle and needs to be studied, quite frankly.
Well, I mean, this time was like a graze, but it just did enough damage where he lost his memory for a while.
Well,
yeah, this one, it just grazed him like on the side of the head, but it still was enough.
That's not how amnesia works.
Well, that's the thing. Like there was a.
That's amnesia. That's
they were juggling writers when the thing started, so it was kind of jumbled. But then when Dan Jurgens came on a while back, like he set it up where like it wasn't all just the bullet. Like the Court of Owls had something to do with it too. So
mind control. I get the idea. You got to set that up from the start, though. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's the thing. They went through a couple writers before they got to Dan Jurgens. He's like, okay, let me clean up this mess.
Okay, yeah. So,
but yeah, I mean, he needs therapy just because he was half this issue. He's fighting the KG Beast, and he's thinking, like a millimeter one way or the other way, and I'd be dead.
Okay, so who's the doctor in DC? Do they? I mean, not Doctor Strange. I know him. Victor Strange. No, is there like someone who's actually a good psychiatrist who treats people in DC, or is there just really no one who does that?
I don't know if we have a good psychiatrist. Yeah.
I mean, I know in Marvel we used to have Samson, and you had Samson and Soften, and then both eventually turned heel.
Yeah, I don't think we have anyone good, because I mean, take it for what you will. In the couple issues back in Superman, Bendis had Superman talking to the new Dr. Fate. I'm like, what?
Dr. Fate? Oh, well, the new Dr. Fate?
Yeah. I'm like, isn't he like a MD? I'm like, why would he be like?
Actually, I think he's a doctor of archaeology.
Okay. That's the thing. I'm like, he's a doctor of something, but I'm pretty sure it's like.
I'm not that kind of doctor, dude.
Yeah,
set up what movie was that? Where it was Iron Man 3, where that's not the kind of doctor I am.
Exactly.
It's weird. One would think that you would have an established doctor character, psychological doctor character in the DC universe.
Yeah.
At some point, that it just seems like that's something you would have. Just a person that would be, okay, this is who you go to, even if they don't have superpowers. This is a person you can talk to about your problems.
Yeah.
You would think that, and as I've always said, just like there are people who specialize in superhero law, there would be people who specialize in superhero mental health. And although I'm not going to reference one of those right now, on the off chance Lilith does come back, I did want to talk Juggernaut 3, because she mentioned she picked it up, in which we get one of the greats of superhero law. Did you read this one, Philip?
No, I did not. I want to, but I didn't get a chance to.
Yes, we get none other than.
I was going to say, go ahead. I just messaged Lil. She said her internet's there. Her provider.
Bernie Rosenthal is back. Good old Bernie Rosenthal. She is working.
She's a lawyer.
She's Juggernaut's lawyer. Yeah.
Nice.
Because there is a field of superhero law, and she basically, they even called her the RGB of the RBG of superhero law, which is one of those like, oh wow, that's insanely poignant. I know you didn't intend it to be, but yeah, just that she is just this heavy hitter, and she makes this point that Juggernaut didn't bankrupt your company, Spider-Man did. Sue him. Which really, honestly, the amount of lawsuits that should be coming to Spider-Man are huge. Because, you can make the secondary argument, which is that Juggernaut was rampaging and Spider-Man had to use the cement to trap him. And had Juggernaut not been rampaging, Spider-Man wouldn't have had to use cement to trap him. So really, it is just, this is that time. You all remember when Spider-Man traps Juggernaut in the cement.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, basically, they're pouring a foundation. Yeah, he just lets him sink into the cement, yeah.
Yeah, and he takes him a year to dig himself out. Surprised it didn't knock down the whole dang building.
I think they said he went down pretty far, and I don't know if he went down into the bedrock or whatever. I think he just basically dug his way to the river or something.
Yeah, it was something like that. So anyway, but they're suggesting that caused the construction company to go bankrupt, which I don't know, it doesn't seem like it necessarily should have.
Don't they have insurance?
Apparently not. That's the thing, is like superhero insurance is always that weird thing.
Yeah.
Like, what is superhero insurance? Like, as an example, I was watching the old cartoon, the old Tick cartoon today.
Yeah, we also watched the series finale of
the... Yeah, well, we watched... Yes, but we were watching, and it was the Breadmaster episode, which I think predates the actual bread baking device called the Breadmaster. So I'm sure that was a whole lawsuit. Where a person's grocery store is destroyed, and he says, hopefully you can rebuild. And he says, unfortunately, I don't have bread insurance. So, but yeah, Juggernaut 3. We get this whole thing about the Juggernaut coming to claim new armor. Because essentially, every time he loses basically every time he has to come back from limbo, there's a whole process, and he has to reforge his armor. He goes to the forge of Cyttorak. It turns out that the smith at the Forge of Cyttorak has been building this awesome armor for this, that he might be chosen by Cyttorak. And then when Kane Marco comes to claim it, he's like, no, I've worked too long and too hard. I built this so that Cyttorak would choose me. And basically it's that, what if Cyttorak wants me to be it? And so that's how he gets the new armor back. There is also in this story basically an attack by a character named Quicksand, who's apparently and when she first shows up, she says she wants the Fraulein. Thinking, oh wow, is that like and they're talking about like the isotope that has taken over her mind. And I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be the Hive. The Hive is going to be the one behind it, because he's a Nazi. And as it turns out, what is happening is the government is letting Arnim Zola experiment on prisoners in super prisons.
Oh, jeez.
And they actually say, when they realize it, they say, Absolution Solutions. They run for-profit prisons, and this is their director of research. He says, Arnim Zola, they're letting Nazis experiment on superhuman prisoners, and the tagline at the end is, no, just one Nazi. I do love Juggernaut. Juggernaut is a great book.
Mm-hmm.
It's been building between him and D-Cell. It's a neat dynamic. It's kind of, and it's a young kid and old superhero kind of dynamic, which is really fun. And so I very much enjoy it. And I'm sorry you missed the chance to talk about it, Lilith. What else do you want to talk about, Philip?
I was going to say, do you want to save Spider-Man for super connectivity and along with their other books?
We can.
Okay. No, I got. Oh, maybe I shouldn't. Got that one early. Never mind. Oh, I don't know if you read it or not. Symbiote Spider-Man King in Black. Did you read that?
No, I didn't.
It's just like with the other symbiote Spider-Mans. It's like set back during when Peter had the symbiote. He was wearing the symbiote. But no, you might be interested in this one because it's like the Watcher shows up, and then he gets kidnapped by Kang the Conqueror.
Wait, the Watcher gets kidnapped by Kang the Conqueror?
Yes. Because I don't know what
he's not referring. I get it. It's like,
I don't know what is going on here, but it's like Kang's like trying to like probe like all of like Uatu's memories, but then meanwhile Uatu's able to just like tap into like Kang's like computer banks or whatever, and he's just like, yeah, I see stuff from before my existence, and then he like sees the future, and he's like, wait a minute, this is impossible. It sees me. So I don't know if like the current King of Black stuff is like kind of like bleeding back in time or something.
Well, I imagine it has to.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's how you do. That's how you do. I mean, not for nothing. The King in Black stuff, I am not. I was never that big into the symbiote to start with. And then to make some larger than life story around them.
Yeah.
I mean, and to be fair, I get the idea that, well, hey, Earth is the center of everything. Why can't the symbiote planet be? But then it's like, yeah, but it's a planet of symbiotes, and, they seem to be very dependent on other species. So what's their thing? It's a weird quality of the universe that I don't quite understand. And their god is strange to me, but...
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to read any like extra stuff, but if something happens to land in a book I'm reading, I'll read it. But I mean, they're throwing everything into this book. I mean, Peter's like battling symbiotes at Ravencroft, but there's a big eclipse. But then the Black Knight shows up to help.
Wait, did I read that book?
Did you?
Sounds familiar. What did I read? Where the Black Knight showed?
No. Didn't the Black Knight was in Savage Avengers too, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. So maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but no,
they're pushing him because he's in what's
Eternals? Isn't he in Eternals?
He's in Eternals, so they got to push him.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Wait, why am I thinking of the Black Knight? And the Black Knight shows up to sponge people. Wait, why do I remember that? Oh, because that's what he does now. He just shows up. I'm the Black Knight. Here's a sword. Stabby stab.
Yeah, so I mean, this book's happening in 80s Marvel. So like, after the whole thing with the Watcher, Kang's ship blows up. He's drifting in space. He gets picked up by another ship. Who's on this ship, Charlie Uther?
I don't know.
80s Rocket Raccoon.
Sure, why not?
I'm like, man, they're putting everything in this book.
So I do want to talk about this book before we go. It's Doctor Who comic, BBC #1, which is not really a #1. This is by Titan Press. Because apparently this is a continuation of other Doctor Who comics that have already come and gone. This is the series. This is the first of the new series, which is apparently a crossover between the 13th Doctor and the 10th Doctor.
Is it just called Doctor Who?
What? Yeah, Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It's the guy who played Purple Man.
Oh, is that David Tennant?
David Tennant and Jodie. I'm forgetting her last name.
Oh, the new one.
The new one, yeah.
I'm not.
Jodie something.
I know who you're talking about, but
yeah. But it's them, and apparently they had another crossover that caused a temporal paradox.
Jodie Whittaker.
Jodie Whittaker, thank you. And it's fun, and basically they return to the world. The world has been conquered by the Sea Devils, who are one of the other pre-human races of Earth. They're not too happy, and when David Tennant goes back, he realizes that Rose doesn't know who he is. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it's very interesting. I may keep on picking up these episodes. This is the first Doctor Who comic I've ever picked up.
Oh.
I like it. I really do enjoy it. It feels like a Doctor Who story. But at the same time, it's this question of when it comes to that, $4 engagement price, which is why, for what it's worth, television is usually free. Because when you have to have everyone pay a certain amount every time they want to watch something, eventually they're going to be like, I'd rather do something else, you know?
Mhm.
I'd rather not spend that money right now, you know?
Exactly.
You know, so... but it's interesting. I like it. I may pick up issue 2. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. Anything else you want to talk about right now, Philip?
No, I think that's good, especially since we got another show to do.
Man. So, okay. So let's wrap it up and let's do the other show. So, Philip, how can people reach us?
All right. So, yes. So send your thoughts on any, TV, movies, comics, hell, at this point, sports. We talk sports tonight. I can't believe it. Email us. Woo!
Go Lions!
Yeah, right. capesandlunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow the Capes and Lunatics all over social media, Facebook. We have a page and a Facebook group, Twitter, Instagram. You can watch this video on YouTube. Follow us there. Links to Patreon, links to merch. I just started a TikTok. Lil's gave me the idea to maybe put some of our drops on there with funny pictures. So, yeah, you can find us on TikTok. Find links to everything all in one convenient place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember to support the sponsor, Tweaked Audio. Did you hear that? If not, get yourself some Tweaked Audio headphones. Great Christmas gift, Charlie Esser. Tweaked Audio headphones.
Good for the whole family.
And for those people who like to play games in your life, go pick up Hunt-A-Killer.
You know, you can use the coupon code Southgate
for both of those. Right.
At both sites. It's like the same coupon, but you can use it twice. When else in your life are you ever going to get to do that?
Exactly. And also, go pick up Pod Life, the book. Yes, Volume 1, now in digital and paperback. Audio version coming soon. Volume 2 coming soon. So, yeah, get in on the ground floor. Pick up Volume 1. And, of course, Christmas is right around the corner. So, when you go on Amazon, you should do all your shopping online this year. Well, most of it. On Amazon, use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes. Help us support this show, Southgate Media Group Network. And that jolly man, Rob, Master Doom Southgate.
Make it rain. So says Master Doom. Please kick me in the pants. Why did your eye drift over to my box?
And you can find Lilith Hellfire on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire. You can find her on Instagram, Lilith Hellfire86, and at Lilith Hellfire69. And she's also on TikTok.
That taste is still in my mouth.
All right, Charlie Esser.
Well, if you're not on TikTok and would like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, where our mothers and our fathers long ago once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. And, of course, if you're a slightly more hip person, but not as hip as Lilith Hellfire or Philip Parrish, follow me on Twitter, where I live tweet when I remember to do so. DuckTales at 7 o'clock on Mondays, and I missed it this week, which was a super lore-heavy episode, so I'm kicking myself at Charlie Esser. That's CHARLIE. Yes, SCR. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for yet another week. We have been your Capes.
Ampersand.
Lunatics!
Yay! We miss you, Lilith.
Yeah.
Lilith, feel free to jump onto Superconnectivity if you have more to say.
I was going to say her internet or whatever's down, so.
Yeah, so she probably won't. Also, she may want to sleep at a decent hour. She has dogs to take care of.
Must be the weekly storm down there in Florida.
It's a cesspool. Just saying. Because it ain't
hurricane country.
You yell about us about our cold weather up here in New Jersey, but it keeps the hurricanes at bay.
It's our roof state where it's at. That's right.
Exactly, man. It's got that moderate. You got to have like the little bit of snow, and that keeps the hurricanes away. Thinking.
Weather